Honorable Minister of Aviation Festus Keyamo, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I cannot be with you in person due to conflicting obligations, so I thought I should send you this video of support. I congratulate the Federal Government of Nigeria, the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, and the Honorable Minister for the vision and leadership behind this summit, which is bringing together government, industry, and the international community to unlock capital, confidence, and capacity in Nigerian aviation. International trade relies on the movement of goods from where they are produced to where they are consumed, and aviation is an important part of that. It enables the movement of people around the world for business as well as for leisure. Business people need to be able to engage with their counterparts in other countries in order to negotiate deals, even in today's world of technology. Air connectivity in Africa is poor, time-consuming and costly, which can constrain trade. Very often, to fly between two African countries, passengers have to go through Europe to catch a connecting flight, thus adding to the cost of trade and of doing business. This is a structural constraint on growth, not a footnote to it. This partly explains why intra-Africa trade is still only about 16% and Africa's share of world trade is about 3%. In 2025, air cargo accounted for nearly 30% of global trade by value, despite representing less than 1% by weight. That asymmetry tells us that aviation does not move bulk commodities. It moves the highest value, most time-sensitive goods. Pharmaceuticals, electronics, perishables, AI-related components, and the small parcels that underpin the global e-commerce economy all depend critically on air transport. When air cargo functions well, it does not merely complement trade, it enables it. The Nigerian aviation sector has grown in recent decades, with more private airlines, along with new airports and related infrastructure. The safety record has also improved in the last 20 years, but there's still a long way to go. Existing airlines need to upgrade their fleet and scale up their operations to improve their competitiveness. It is estimated by IATA that the sector currently supports over 216,700 jobs and contributes less than $3 billion to GDP. International tourists arriving by air contributed an estimated $760 million to the Nigerian economy in 2023. Nigerian airports handled 195,700 tons of air freight in 2023. A country of Nigeria's size should be earning much more than this from the sector and creating more jobs. For a country seeking to move up the value chain, reliable and affordable air freight infrastructure is not optional. It's a prerequisite. Nigeria's International Air Connectivity Index has declined since 2014 and it is presently ranked the 91st largest international passenger market in the world. The sector can contribute more to the economy if the structural constraints are removed. This is why this conference is timely, because it should be an opportunity to identify the issues and proffer solutions. It also represents a chance for private sector actors to identify opportunities and interact with government officials for a win-win solution. The African Continental Free Trade Area creates the framework for Nigeria to become a manufacturing and export hub for the continent. But realizing that ambition requires a supporting infrastructure for both manufacturing and logistics. The aspiration of transforming Nigeria into a high-value trading economy and a gateway between West Africa and global markets cannot be achieved without investing in the underlying aviation ecosystem. That investment may begin with aircraft by the private sector operators, but it cannot end there. Aircraft acquisition must be accompanied by sustained investment in airport infrastructure, air navigation services, and complemented by strong maintenance culture. Reliable, cost-efficient operations are what create the conditions for airlines to serve less profitable routes, reduce fares, and grow the passenger base. Despite the high ticket prices, African airlines earn less than the global average in terms of profit per passenger. The full cost structure needs to be re-examined. Fuel costs, Airport taxes and charges are estimated to be about 12 to 15% above the global average. The good news is that this transformation need not depend on public expenditure alone or public action. Public-private partnerships offer a credible and proven path to mobilizing private capital for airport modernization and transport infrastructure. The model is straightforward in principle. Government provides the enabling framework, the regulatory certainty, and the long-term concession structures that give private investors the confidence to commit. The private sector brings capital, operational expertise, and the discipline of commercial incentives. When structured well, this partnership model has delivered world-class airports and logistics hubs in other parts of the world. There is no reason Nigeria cannot replicate and surpass those examples. But for this to work, government's role is clear. It should maintain a fair and predictable tax regime, advance market liberalization by opening routes in a reciprocal manner with other countries or regions, and removing the bilateral restrictions that tend to limit where African carriers can fly. Most fundamentally, governments must treat the aviation sector as the strategic economic enabler it is, rather than as a revenue source to be extracted. We know from elsewhere what happens when governments get this right. Connectivity grows, fares fall, trade expands, and the benefits extend well beyond the runway. In this regard, Nigeria must become an active and vocal champion of the single African air transport market known as SATN. Launched in 2018 as a flagship project of the African Union's Agenda 2063, SATN seeks to create a single, unified, liberalized aviation market across the entire continent. It seeks to overcome bilateral arrangements and fragmented national policies and ensure that aviation plays a transformative role in Africa's development that it has played elsewhere, boosting intra-Africa trade, deepening tourism, and giving the continent the connectivity infrastructure its growth trajectory demands. Nigeria has both an interest and a responsibility to lead that agenda from the front. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let me end by underscoring the fact that the opportunities in the aviation sector are abundant. The needs are huge and the rewards are massive. I wish you all a very pleasant conference. Thank you.